everybody. Welcome back to part 2 of my YouTube video thing where I'm discussing this really weird dream I had last night about me and my friends playing this new. It wasn't new. It released in 2018. And there's a lot of oddly specific details in this game. Video game that released in 2018 about like hide and seek plus turf wars from Splatoon plus like Team Deathmatch from Call of Duty, all tied together in a documentary series and a horror movie that was based off of it, and how the company was a complete failure. And yes, my brain all conjured up all of this, and last night, and it was weird. I'm a span of about an hour, and yeah, in the first video I sort of discussed me and my friends' experience playing the game. In this video, I'm going to explain the documentary horror movie, which is included in the documentary. The company itself, what was it called? Like Baroque Studios or something Baroque, I think. I don't know. Last night I sent my friends a huge ramble on Snapchat about the whole ordeal, and I saved all of it, and it's like my notes for this video. And then I'm lastly gonna discuss like the physical symptoms of the dream, because when I woke up, I was like legitimately like kind of out of it. And yeah, and tomorrow I'm gonna upload like sort of just like a sort of an analysis type video on talking about this and other things that I sort of want to get off my chest. But anyway, so in the first video I discussed the gameplay side of it, where me and my friends played it and how we thought it sucked. It sucked. But however, despite the fact that it sucked, it had a few elements that were really ahead of its time. Like the controls on the octopus dude. Luna, what are you doing, you strange cat? I'm sorry, my cat is doing all sorts of mumbo jumbo. What the hell was that sound? That was my pillow. That sound. Yeah, in this video we're going to discuss the documentary side of things. First of all, I want to just touch on a few of the characters in it. And there's the aforementioned octopus dude. There's like this one dude who's like a shield or something. Where was it? I had it in my notes. This is your brain on the level of tiredness achieved after working 11 hours straight on the busiest day of the year. I texted that last night, which I think accurately describes it. Yeah, I work at like a grocery store. Not going to explain what kind of grocery store for privacy reasons. Michael ain't watching this, is he? There's some things I'd like to say, but I'm not gonna say just in case somehow he stumbles across the video, puts the pieces together, and figures out exactly who I am. Well, the octopus dude. There's a couple other dudes. There's another dude who I don't remember what they did or why they were important. But if you know the flag for the country Argentina, like the sun, the face on it, like it was like a yellow sun, and it had like a face, like a really like funny, funny. I don't know if funny is the right word, but he had like a facial expression. Now imagine that there's like one of the metal like yard signs, you know, like the metal like, you know, like metal worked yard sign, like not yard signs, you know, metal working, painted, yeah, the whole shebang, and it was like sentient and moving around, and it was in a video game. Imagine that. That was a character. There's another dude who was like a chess piece or something. They may or may not have had a seasons mechanic that lined up with the IRL time. Like say if it's December, it's gonna be cold and snowy, and if it's like June, it's gonna be hot and not snowy. Or well, I guess the temperature doesn't really matter, but you get the idea. Also apparently, a relative's car broke down IRL, and I had to stop playing at some point. Like, I guess that was after I got back on, after I rage quit. I don't know. Yeah, like, it's just, yeah. Okay, here was the dude. One dude was a metallic chess piece kind of thing, like, the one like the castle dude. I forget what it's called. Jordan, after this video, if you don't go leave to take your shower, you get back or whatever, I'm getting off at like 12. You want to play around a caravan or two? I'm kind of in the mood. I'm feeling caravan. Uh, okay, I guess now. I'm sorry. You can do it on your phone. I mean, that's how I've been doing it at least. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everyone who's watching this video. I'm recording this while on an Xbox party with my friend. I'm not gonna put any edit and editing this because I don't really know how to edit. And so yeah, this is kind of like pure and uncensored. And tomorrow I'm gonna get yeah. And tomorrow they couldn't hear that, but yeah, what Jordan said. You don't get to hear what Jordan said. I'm sorry. You can come up with theories in the comments. That's what he said. Um, it, yeah, you can theorize on it. But tomorrow I'll get sort of like a more edited or not edited. It's gonna be like stream of conscience. Like there's gonna be a lot more less raw and sort of like me talking off of a script type deal. Script? What's that word? A script, right? When you type out like the outline for a video and you're talking off that. That's called a script, right? Am I crazy? Whatever, it doesn't matter. There's gonna be a more distilled version tomorrow, but anyway. There's like a dude who's like a chess piece, um, on the sword who moved really fast. He was a seeker. Um, yeah, let's get into the documentary side of things. And the documentary sort of discussed like the inner workings of the game, or more specifically like its impact on the gaming industry. Like it's sort of like the controls of the Octopussy, which I sort of mentioned earlier, specifically was like a really influential to the development of future games. This isn't an alternate timeline, not like our own. Where hide and seek was a game that was like, hey, remember how when you were a little kid, hide and seek was like all the rage? And then when you grew up, you were like, hide and seek, that's lame. Okay, imagine we're living in an alternate timeline. Imagine, imagine we're living in an alternate timeline where hide and seek was like really popular among adults, and the Soviets won the Cold War. No, I'm just kidding. I made that up. That didn't happen in the world, but hide and seek did catch on adults in this alternate timeline. Like historically, like geopolitics, world events and all that. I think they were mostly the same. I mean, the pandemic happened at the same time it did in our timeline in this universe. The pandemic is canon in the hide and seek expanded universe. Just gonna say that right now. So I guess like the Cold War, we beat the Nazis in World War II. Hell yeah, go us. Fuck yeah. Excuse my language. You know what? No, we're just gonna fuck censors. Fuck the Nazis. Gonna try and come up with some like kid-friendly version of that, but no, that isn't good. Fuck the Nazis. Yeah, fuck the Nazis. Okay, I'm gonna stop that now. I try to keep things PG here. I try. Um, where was I going with this? I have a horrible habit of just sort of rambling on like a crazy person. I'm sorry, Jordan, for being like this. Where was I going? I was talking about the documentary, and specifically like it was an alternate timeline where hide and seek was like popular among adults, you know. So yeah, and they made a game based off of it by a company that was kind of a train wreck. It talked about their inner finances, like dude who ran the company was like, I don't think he ever got a name. But he was an asshole. He was not very nice. He did all sorts of things. He got into all sorts of drama with like the other head honchos of the company. they were a train wreck of a company. Like the financials were terrible. They did not make much money. Yeah, the launch of the game was terrible. It was like a bug-filled mess, and the documentary touched on all of this and details that I've kind of slipped through the cracks, so to say. I went through the thin ice. If I was funny, I would make a better Pink Floyd joke, but yeah, The Wall, Pink Floyd. Go listen to that album. Honestly, I think I made a Steely Dan shout out, but and go listen to Steely Dan. Go listen to lots of Steely Dan. Royal Scam and Gotcha are my two favorites. So, post your favorite Steely Dan albums in the comments below. Yeah, hopefully this will be somebody says Katie Lie. That's a pretty good one as well. God, I'm awful at this. Oh my god, I just keep getting interrupted by my own train of thought. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm sorry, viewer. I'm sorry, Jordan. I'm sorry, all of you. I'm sorry, you. Even you, Mr. Catlin. Actually, you're a miss. Anyway, but the company was a train wreck, and they were, they had all sorts of financial issues. The dude running the company was like Elon Musk, kinda, but instead of being like the owner of Tesla and SpaceX and all sorts of stuff, which I guess has a positive effect on the world, even if he's kind of an asshole. I mean, Teslas are still horrible. They catch on fire. The self-driving thing doesn't work. But I mean, like, electric vehicles are good, I guess. Compared to most billionaires, I guess Elon Musk does it. No, he doesn't. I'm crazy. I'm sorry. No, dude's an asshole. Any positive effect that he would have had from like SpaceX and Tesla and all that has been ruined by what he's done to Twitter. He's completely driven that platform to the ground, and that's really important for like spreading news and all that. So, yeah, no, he's worse than most billionaires in what I think about it. I don't know. 5 years ago, I'd say that. Like 10 years ago, I'd say like SpaceX and Tesla, I guess, would balance out the bad of being like a billionaire asshole. But nowadays, hell no. And he's like super like basically like a white supremacist. Fuck Elon Musk. If you like Elon Musk, the owner of the company, I guess besides the whole retweeting like fucking race realist 88 or whatever on Twitter. Instead, he's just kind of like an asshole. Like imagine like the mannerisms of Elon Musk, but besides the whole owning Twitter and yeah, and like retweeting and commenting on like the Hail Hitler 88's YouTube channel or not YouTube channel, Twitter account. No, none of that. But he was a massive asshole, and he had sort of like the Elon Musk mannerisms. Like making dumb business decisions and getting into arguments with people on Twitter and just kind of acting like Elon Musk. Yeah, I'm sorry for saying Elon Musk did anything good. I mean, SpaceX is kind of cool, I guess, but it's like, dude, you follow white supremacists on Twitter. I mean, no amount of SpaceX being cool can balance out that. You feel me. Fuck Elon Musk. Have I said that enough? Fuck Elon Musk. And then there's also the horror movie aspect of the whole thing, which was, I guess, part of it. I don't guess, this is my own brain on the source. I know there's a horror movie, and the horror movie was like, it was horrible. It was released in it wasn't released. It took place, and it was released a couple years later. It's either 1977 or 1979. A bunch of really good albums came out in those 2 years. Rumors, Animals, Asia, 77, 79. You had like The Wall. Two great years for music. That was another really good album that came out in 77. Passage for 77. What was that other really good album that came out in 79? Anyway, but the horror movie took place in 1979 or 77. I can't remember which. And the idea of it was like, it was just like really cheesy. Enter the Outdoor, Led Zeppelin. That was the other one. Enter the Outdoor. That's a great album. Supertramp, Goodbye America, or whatever that one was called. Breakfast in America, I'm sorry. London Calling. What was that one album? Regatta de Blanc. Great years of music. I'm sorry once again for saying anything nice about Elon Musk. You know, asshole. Yeah, the more I think about it, the more it's a tank. That's a tank. A take I maintained for a grand span of 2 minutes. That was just awful. And that's one of my like. Yeah, that is a bad take. Okay. You know, it'd be so easy if I was the CEO of SpaceX to just not be a horrible person. I would just make rockets and have fun. And the conspiracy iceberg, this is for Jordan specifically. There was a conspiracy about a SpaceX rocket. Fun fact. It was something along the lines of like there's a super top secret SpaceX rocket that supposedly the people who made it like wouldn't let their engineers look at it or something along those lines. The conspiracy is like doing something like has like I don't know a weapon on it or something. Yeah. Yeah, I don't like Elon Musk. I just think space travel is pretty cool. I guess you know. I want to go see the moon. I guess you know. You know. You know. Anyway, back onto the documentary, like or the movie. It was like a really cheesy '70s slasher horror film about a bunch of not teenagers, cheerleaders, and they play a game of hide and seek out in the woods, and you'll never guess what happens. That's right, a big, it's ski mask wielding man with a machete shows up. You'll never guess what he does. That's right, crazy lunatic machete wielding madman things. That's right. Um, he wields his machete and he kills people, lots of people. There was one cheerleader who was like really important for some reason. I can't piece my mind on why it, they were important. For she was for some reason, like really important. Like not just like because she's the main character of the movie, whatever. Like she's like a super genius, or she was like in with the CIA or something. Yeah, she was secretly interdimensional Bigfoot. She was a oh shit! I just exposed all the info hazards. I'm sorry. You know what? Where's the mic on this thing? Solar plexus clown gliders get exposed to info hazards like a boss. Ain't that right? Anyway, yeah, she was important. I don't remember if she died or not. It doesn't matter. I don't know. The movie isn't real. Back onto it. Yeah, and then after that, the movie ended. It was like your typical 80s slasher, you know, lots of blood, guts, corneas, you know, hell. This is a video where I was planning to be more kid friendly, and I specifically called out 2 individuals and told them to go fuck themselves like 10 times. That is wild. I'm sorry for my language, y'all. You know, I'm just really pissed about what he did to Twitter, okay? Like, you know, like, yeah, the dude's an asshole. He ruined Twitter. Same thing with the dude who ruined Reddit. I mean, half of that was the owner of it, and half of it was all the dipshit moderators doing it. We're getting off topic again. Reddit mods are assholes. What was that one subreddit, like True Rate Me or whatever? Like the dudes, like the ones you have to about like the ones where they was like you saw about that, right, Jordan? Like the True Rate Me, where it was like there was like the one about the rate the girls, and then like if you rated her like 0.2 points too high, the the moderators would ban you. Overrate, strike three, you're out. Reddit mods are arguably worse than everything. You know. And the last thing was sort of like explain. There was something after the whole horror movie aspect that was really important, but I can't. Let me go back in my notes. Right! The physical effects of it. So after I woke up, I woke up at like 12 o'clock in the morning. I was sleeping in a chair because I fell asleep. Because, like I said, I worked 11 hours. Supposedly the busiest day of the year. Last Saturday was busier. My boss was. He was wrong on that. Anyway, if you work 11 hours, if you ever worked 11 hours, I work 11 hours sometimes, you'll know that it's not fun. Specifically, it's really tiring. Once the whole thing is done, you're tired as balls. Okay. Anyway, I woke up. I fell asleep around 11, like 10:30 more specifically. I woke up like 12:15 maybe. Times for both of those are kind of off. Specifically the time I fell asleep. Because, when you fall asleep, you have no clue when you fell asleep. Besides, like, a vague time frame, like, sometime after this. Like, the last time you remember looking at a clock. Sometime after that. And it could be, like, 10 minutes or it could be an hour. You've fallen asleep when you're trying to stay awake before. Admit it. Anyway. So I woke up, and naturally my mind was just kind of like one track, like I need to talk about this. Like on Snapchat, I just started texting my friends like crazy. I wrote like entire paragraphs. I even interrogated Jordan right here about the big news events of the day, what day it was, what my favorite album is, that kind of stuff, just to make sure that I hadn't somehow slipped into an alternate universe. His answer to my favorite album or band or whatever it was wrong, but it was an acceptable enough answer that I could see how he came to that conclusion. My favorite band is Alice in Chains. Steely Dan's in the top three, though. They're like third, maybe. Third, yeah, behind Alice in Chains, Pink Floyd, Steely Dan. Everything after that is up for debate. You can convince me of anything. You convince me that, like, I don't know. Name a band. Him. Pearl Jam, yeah, you could easily convince me that Pearl Jam is my fourth favorite band. At the moment, who do I want to say? Pixies. The Pixies, yeah. Kim Deal is probably the greatest bass. I don't want to say that. In the top five greatest bases of all time. Go listen to the Pixies. Just pay attention to Kim Deal. Gouge Away. That song is nuts, bro. No. Anyway. I'm sorry for getting so sidetracked. And I'm going to upload the whole analysis thing tomorrow. I'm just sort of like not going to be rambling on about the Pixies and my opinions on Elon Musk who ruined Twitter, and I don't know. I'm just so pissed about that I just hate the fucker. I kind of temporarily forgot about that and was just like SpaceX, and then I remember what he did to Twitter and how, I don't want to say good because that platform was never good. Functional used to be. And he drove it into the ground, and you feel me? Anyway, I texted my friends off a horror video, and I was like, okay, yada yada yada, I just had the wildest dream, y'all. It was like we were playing this game, and I was really, like, physically sick somehow. I was, like, dizzy as hell. You know that feeling when you're kind of, like, dizzy and lightheaded, and, like, it just feels like your head is constantly moving? I had that. I was really sick to my stomach, which I really felt that about 5-10 minutes later. Like, I felt like every time I moved, I felt like I could throw up. Other various symptoms, that was the main thing. And I didn't really notice it until about 5-10 minutes later. I wasn't paying attention, at least. And then it sort of hit me, and I was like, oh god, I feel absolutely dreadful. Because I was just, my mind was, like, one track. Like, I need to talk about this with someone. I was just randomly texting my friends. Jordan said something really funny to the effect of, I'm too drunk for this, or something like that. I was just like, yeah. Yeah. I'm too drunk for this. Steely Dan. I don't know. You have lots of favorite bands. Yeah, that's a pretty accurate response. Jesus Christ, go back to bed. You're getting eepy. really deep even, and then it's just like a cat and like spiraling. Alright, just woke up. Sadly, the other dreams did not expand on the hide and seek video game expanded universe. No, yeah, when I just woke up, I was just like at 12, not in the actual morning. I was like really like physically sick for a minute, and I was just like really odd. The whole thing was really odd. That's the really thing that's really gets me. Like, what the hell happened? You know, was like, did I take some like, did the meal I ate before I went to bed, was it like laced with like some sort of hallucinogenic drug that also causes stomach aches or something? Was I kidnapped by aliens? Did I temporarily get Mandela affected by CERN into a quantum universe by the solar plexus cloud gliders? If you haven't watched the Iceberg, it was a really good video by Wendigoon on YouTube. It was like a 10-hour video about all sorts of various conspiracy theories, and I watched it. It was amazing. You should go watch it. You should go check it out after you're done with this. If you're still listening to me ramble on for 10 minutes, I'm sorry once again for getting sidetracked like that. But go watch that video. It's incredible. I'm probably going to link it in the description. But something, I don't know. It was really weird. And I don't know. I've just been thinking about it all day. And yeah. It was really odd, and I just kind of had to get that off my chest. And I'm going to stop talking now because I've literally been, if my mic count, I've been rambling on about this for about 45 minutes. I'm going to get off. Or not like off the party with you one. Like, I'm going to stop talking about this. I'm going to upload the video sort of like concisely explaining it without the whole 45 minutes of me getting sidetracked by Steely Dan and my Elon Musk. I hate that dude. He ruined Twitter. Without getting sidetracked by all that, I'm just going to sort of get to the point, explain exactly what happened, portraying the oddities about it tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm not talking to my friend Jordan here, who's, yeah. Yeah. Well, then you'd have to listen to me ramble for 27 minutes. About like, it would just be, I don't know. Yeah, just do it when I'm alone, I'm gonna probably do it during that lunch break, but yeah, tomorrow I'm gonna give a more concise explanation of things and like updates on my YouTube because I remember a couple of months ago I said I was gonna start uploading and I didn't upload them YouTube things and like I'm not planning to make a career out of this and give the people what they want, Anyway, all that is tomorrow. But tonight we might chase the dragon. The water may change to cherry wine, and the silver will turn to gold. Time out of mind. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna stop now. Alright, good night, y'all. Remember, comment about your favorite Steely Dan album. I know y'all love Steely Dan. Y'all probably don't listen to Steely Dan. I love Steely Dan. Steely Dan is awesome, man. You should go listen to Steely Dan. I would start with Asia. Probably the most. It's really not one of my favorites. Honestly, among the Steely Dan album tier list, I'd probably put them close to the bottom, Asia close to the bottom for me personally. Maybe not like their best, like objectively, but subjectively, I never really got into Asia that much. I had like 3 really good songs. The rest of those just like okay, whatever, Like, the title track's amazing. Deacon Blue's amazing. Peg is amazing for me personally. Besides that, it's like I don't care. Like I Got the News, Josie. It's like it's a good song, but I don't know. It just doesn't hit the same way as like Green Earrings off of Little Scammer. Like Pearl of a Quarter off of Countdown to Ecstasy. It just doesn't hit the same, Anyway, I'm getting off. I'm gonna stop rambling about this. Check back tomorrow. And thank you for listening to 45 minutes total of me rambling on about this really weird dream I had. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, because I really had to get that off my chest. And me getting sidetracked by a million different things. But anyway, thank you. Good night.